We'll wrap up this preview show with predictions. Always the thing that gets held against you the most in FC world. Things that live on and will be used as evidence further down the road.
Forever and ever.
And ever. Yeah.
Supporters Shield. Let's start with that. What would be called the league title anywhere else in the world. It belonged to the New York Red Bulls. They edged out Atlanta by 2 points in 2018. Who's winning in 2019? And remember, this can go east or west. So
go ahead, Seb.
So I'll go Sporting Kansas City. Like I said, I kind of made the points before, just having talked to Vermees and heard his plan for what.
You talk to a lot of people.
I do. It's amazing how many people want to talk to me. Well, have to talk to me. I think it's mandated.
It's Christian Roldan.
So I think they're set up for it well. I think there are obvious questions with Namath, but I think mostly, again, I come back to I think they're going to be the class of the West, whereas I look at the East. And I think those top teams are going to beat up on each other a little bit more. The point totals may, because of that, drop. So as much as I think Sporting Kansas City is the best in the West, I think most of that, they'll get the Supporter Shield because the points they'll accrue.
So you actually did some math as part of that equation.
I thought about that. I didn't do any.
Ali, do you have a different answer for the Supporter Shield?
Well, he makes a convincing argument, doesn't he?
I'm sold.
Yeah, I'm sold as well, but not as much.
No.
I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think that talent.
De Boer sorts it out.
I think talent in the end wins out.
Yeah.
And Atlanta, as many questions as I have about the transition between Tata Martino and Frank De Boer, I do think that this team is too talented not to make a run for it.
Alejandro Moreno is not a fan of Atlanta United's rumored next manager, title of the Extra Time video.
And will it be a double for?
No, can I just say?
I wasn't even saying that as a
can I just say?
You didn't say that. That was a title.
That you know the amount of time that it takes to go back to that to try to dig it out and see what. See, this is
what happens in FC world.
This is what
nothing.
This is what journalism has become.
Yes.
This is what it has become now. This is a referendum on us as a society.
Are you going to stick with your picks for MLS Cup?
So I'm a swing for the fences with my next two picks because whatever, you only live once. I think DC United is going to win MLS Cup. Yep.
Right.
Here comes the fifth star, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the hometown discount.
I mean, why not? I just.
What time are you having drinks with Benny Olsen?
Yeah, well, when we get back to town, if we get out of here quick enough. We are neighbors. So, but no, I think.
You had to drop that in.
Yeah. Well, he lives in a much nicer. Unit than I do, but he's
not for long.
Yeah,
you're
right. Moving on up. But no, I think DC United is my pick because I look at them and I just find the fewest big question marks with that team compared to the other teams that I consider contenders. And I think honestly, I think they're a really good team. I'm not saying that just because I'm a fan. I do believe DC United is a really good team this year set up for it.
I agree, they're a really good team. And they'll be there or thereabouts, but they will not win it all. And we're making this podcast February, so let's take that.
We're talking about a game played at the end of November.
Yeah,
right.
into
with
account.
another transfer window,
I like New York Red Bulls.
Yeah,
but I'm not picking them. Atlanta.
Oh, you teased them.
Atlanta United.
So Atlanta
I feel like that's like your Spurs. You have like Red Bull is kind of like a Spurs thing. You won't pick Spurs because you know you get burned by them.
No,
is it not time to pick Red Bull?
Well, I do like the Red Bulls, and I like Chris Armas, and I like what they've done with the team, and I like the fact that they have young players that come through the system and become successful. Everything about New York Red Bulls I enjoyed, but I don't think, unless some of these new signings become the players that they think they're going to become, it'll come down to a moment in which quality and talent takes over, and I think Atlanta, that's when they win out.
What do you predict?
You know what?
You don't get off the hook.
No, I like Sporting Kansas City a lot. I do believe they have. I think they should have probably made MLS Cup last year. I think it's their time. I'm not sure they'll win the Supporters Shield, but I think they'll be there or thereabouts. And I'll take them to win MLS.
Can I acknowledge my last two MLS Cup picks? In 2017, I took FC Dallas. They did not make the playoffs that year. In 2018, I picked Toronto FC. They did not make the playoffs that year.
Think about this. Think about this. We've done a whole season preview, and we haven't even talked Toronto. Talk about falling off the. So, final prediction: biggest improvement or biggest regression from what we saw from any team?
I thought it was the MVP.
We can do okay. Well, two more predictions.
Oh.
I just want your thought. We'll do MVP as well. But is there a team out there, and maybe
Who do you want to do?
do?
Biggest regression or biggest?
No,
jump?
you do whatever
Biggest-
you want.
biggest
Seb.
improvement. A team that I'll throw one out there. Chicago. I think they're going to be a lot better. than they were
Really?
Last year. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I look at their players. They got Katai. They still got Schweinsteiger. They've added a couple of pieces. They got a good coach, I think, in Paunovic. I think last year was a little bit of an outlier. I think they just.
I think I have just bigger general questions about Chicago as an organization,
Right.
and so I wouldn't put them there. I think New York City FC is set to, potentially have a drop off.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty easy one. The other one that I don't even know that I expect a big shift, but I think it could be interesting and a big jump is San Jose.
Yeah.
I think
Almeida.
we have to talk Almeida. We don't have to go into it too much, but I would just say this: both in LA and in San Jose, I think we can expect big turnarounds. In LA, I think it's a massive improvement over the coaching situation. I don't think Siggy or Dom were bad coaches. I think that situation, the timing, the midseason firing was a very bad situation. LA went off the rails. I think Barros Schelotto being there will stabilize that. That's a reason to expect a big uptick. In San Jose, I think, frankly, Mikel Staro was out of his depth in Major League Soccer. I think Matias Almeida is not going to be out of his depth in Major League Soccer. And so I think even for whatever San Jose's limitations are, man, Chivas had serious limitations in who they could bring in. He made it happen there. I think Almeida could have a big impact, even if they don't get that much better on paper.
You see how he managed to put in Liga MX, just to make sure we didn't go through a whole podcast without it.
Yeah.
Is that me? My bad.
Yeah, that was you. San Jose, and I like once again I like the idea of these managers coming into MLS, whether it's Guillermo Barros Schelotto, Matias Almeida, that have had success somewhere else, and they come here with their projects to take these teams forward. My concern with San Jose is that I don't see the players.
Right.
And so it's difficult because Matias Almeida is not the guy completing passes and scoring goals out on the field. So they haven't really done much to address many of the issues, not one or two, but many of the issues. Their storylines coming into the season has been Matias Almeida and what he has done in the offseason in social media and everything that he puts in Instagram and Twitter and this and that and the other that doesn't win games on the field. And then that Chris Wondolowski is one goal away from breaking the goal record.
Right.
Okay, once you get past that, then there's got to be more substance.
Yeah.
And so I'm concerned about that. I do think that they'll be better. I don't know how much better. Colorado.
Yeah.
A team that, frankly, they were awful.
Yeah. They're coming from a low place. But
Very, very low place. Not as low as San Jose, but low enough. But they've made player acquisitions.
They certainly have.
So if it is about talent on the field and what a philosophy is for a club, not only did they make the acquisitions of Kai Kamara and Bene Feldhaber, but they brought in Kelly Acosta late last season, Keegan Rosenberry.
Yep.
And what you find in them is that they also have re-signed these players. They re-signed Kelly Acosta, they re-signed Keegan Rosenberry, they brought in Diego Rubio and re-signed him as well. So they're saying, you know what, we're going to build around you and we're going to create a core group. That, if nothing else, creates consistency, creates organization, creates structure, and that, in this league, gets a lot of results.
All right. One name to finish up, MVP. Is Pity Martinez just going to come in and sweep the board?
No, go
Right.
ahead. No, I want to see what the direction
I
you
told
go.
you
Marco Fabian, could he come in and...
I told you I was going to swing for the fences.
Yeah.
My MVP is Lucho Acosta. And I totally accept what Ale said before about the emotional question marks with Lucho.
Yeah.
I know, because I've heard from people close to him, he was absolutely crushed by this. As anyone would expect, understand, it's what he dreamed about. It didn't come to fruition, and it happened very dramatically. I think there's a really good influence in the locker room in Wayne Rooney, somebody who can help him deal with this, and also somebody who we've seen have an influence on Acosta before. Let's not forget, when Lucho, before Rooney arrived, was like a once-a-month star. And other games he would disappear. For weeks he would disappear. And when Rooney showed up, his level went up. Not just because he was playing with Rooney, but because he was training with Rooney, because the professionalism went up. I think Lucho is inspired right now. I think he's got to have some urgency. Last year of his contract. And I think you put all those factors together, and if it doesn't go totally the wrong way, I think Luciano Acosta is a really good bet for MVP.
Can we just end this Lucharoo business, though, if he is going to be MVP? Can we,
I didn't
can we
start it.
never mention that again?
I just don't. Look, I I am fine with picking Luciano Acosta. However, I just don't see if DC United becomes a team that you suggest they're going to become,
That Rooney's not the MVP.
that Rooney is not the MVP of that team. That's very difficult to separate the two. So that may actually impact whether
True.
one of them is a viable option.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm not going to go in Atlanta's direction.
No. Even though you haven't won in the double.
Josef Martinez will be the leading goal scorer, but not as explosive as he was last year. There is a component of Copa America there as well that may limit his productivity. Other than that, I will say, and I will go in a totally different direction, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Okay.
See, I know there's concern about his age, and I'm concerned about his age. I was concerned about him last year.
Yeah.
And then he showed up and play. And when he showed up and play, I said, man, he is at a different level than everybody else. And in the time that he was in MLS last year, you could have made the argument that he might have been the most valuable player in the league up until Josef Martinez started setting records.
Yeah.
Once Josef Martinez did that, then it was game over. I think Zlatan is motivated. I think he loves the attention in LA. He loves life in LA, on the field, off the field, and he will be provided with a stage in which he can perform. And when he can perform on a stage, he's better than most in this league.